Hello, welcome to Mind IAS. Continuing from our last video lecture in which we discussed different factors which led to the revolt of 1857, in this video we will discuss the trigger factor as well as its after effect. Now, what was the immediate trigger factor which led to the revolt of 1857? First, introduction of Enfield rifle. Now, in the year 1853, East India Company introduced the newly made P53 Enfield rifle, where P stands for pattern. Now, the greased cartridges of the Enfield rifle has to be bitten off, and it was made of cows as well as pig's fat. Now, the cow is considered sacred to the Hindus. On the other hand, pig is considered taboo for the Muslims. So this caused resentment among the Hindu and Muslim soldiers of Bengal army. So this was the first point. Secondly, mixing of bone dust with atta. Now the East India Company officials, they were mixing the flour with the bone dust, which again led to antagonism among the soldiers of the Bengal army. So we can see these were the trigger factors which led to the revolt of 1857. Now moving on to next, few examples of mutiny which led to the revolt of 1857. So namely, first at Berhampur. We are giving examples of some mutiny which led to the revolt of 1857. So example, at Berhampur, it was led by 19th Native Infantry. When did it occur? Feb 1857. Next mutiny at Barakpur. At Barakpur, it was carried by 34th Native Infantry and it was led by Mangal Pandey. We have all heard the name of Mangal Pandey. He was executed on April 8th. April 8th. Next comes next mutiny by 7th Awadh Regiment. 7th Awadh Regiment. It occurred on May 3rd, 1857. Now the final trigger or final mutiny was at Meerut, led by 3rd Native Cavalry. This is very important. The last trigger or last mutiny was at Meerut, led by 3rd Native Cavalry on May 10, 1857. So if we have to note what was the exact date of the launch of 1857 revolt, it will be May 10th, 1857, when soldiers of 3rd Native Cavalry killed their superior English officials at Meerut and marched towards Delhi, situated at a distance of 58 km from Meerut. So here we discuss the immediate trigger factor as well as few examples of mutiny which occurred or led towards the revolt of 1857. As we studied, soldiers of the 3rd Native Cavalry raised the banner of revolt on 10th May 1857 and marched towards Delhi, which was at a 58 km distance from Meerut. Now, when they reached Delhi, they proclaimed Bahadur Shah Zafar as Emperor of India. Now, in this rough sketch of India map, we will denote important places as well as personalities associated with the revolt. So, first take the example of Delhi. Now, when the soldiers marched towards Delhi, we all know Bahadur Shah Zafar was made the emperor. Bahadur Shah Zafar. He was held by Bakht Khan, General Bakht Khan, along with the advisor of Bahadur Shah Zafar, Ahsanullah. So Delhi, we have important names: Bahadur Shah Zafar, General Bakt Khan, and Ahsanullah. Next comes Lucknow. At Lucknow, the banner of revolt was led by Begum Hazrat Mahal. Begum Hazrat Mahal. Now, who was she? She was the wife of Wajid Ali Shah. Wajid Ali Shah was the last and 10th Nawab of Awadh. So, she was the wife of Wajid Ali Shah. And we all know Lucknow, Awadh was captured under the doctrine of lapse in the year 1856, and Wajid Ali Shah was sentenced to exile in Calcutta. The adopted son of Begum Hazrat Mahal was Birjis Qadir. Birjis Qadir. Next comes Faizabad. From Faizabad, the banner of revolt was led by Maulvi Ahmadullah. Maulvi Ahmadullah. Clear? Now, Maulvi Ahmadullah has been described by the English historian G.B. Malleson as the most outstanding ruler of the revolt. So, he was described by G.B. Malleson as the most outstanding ruler. Another thing to note, Maulvi Ahmadullah also assisted Wajid Ali Shah, the last Nawab of Awadh. From Banaras and Prayagraj, the revolt was led by Maulvi Liaquat Ali. Led by Maulvi Liaquat Ali. Now from Bihar, the revolt was led by the Zamindar of Jagdishpur, Kunwar Singh. Kunwar Singh. Kunwar Singh took the leadership of the revolt and joined his forces with the forces coming from Danapur Cant. From Patna, the revolt was led by the Wahhabi movement leaders. Now, the Wahhabis played an important role in raising the consciousness of the Indians against the British. Next, Prayagraj, we have already discussed. It was from Prayagraj and Banaras. The revolt was led by Maulvi Liaquat Ali. Next comes Kanpur. Now, from Kanpur, the revolt was led by the adopted son of last Peshwa Baji Rao II. Who was the adopted son? Nana Sahib. Nana Sahib. He was assisted by Tantya Tope. Tantya Tope. His political advisor was Azimullah Khan. Azimullah Khan. So, from Kanpur, the prominent personalities were Nana Sahib, Tantya Tope, and Azimullah Khan. Next comes Jhansi. From Jhansi, the revolt, we have all know, the revolt was led by Rani Lakshmi Bai. Rani Lakshmi Bai. She was the wife of Gangadhar Rao, who was the ruler of Jhansi, and their adopted son was Damodar Rao. At Bareilly, the revolt was led by Khan Bahadur. Khan Bahadur was a descendant of ruler of Rohilkhand. Now, we studied in Delhi General Bakt Khan as one of the important personality. General Bakt Khan was the commander of Khan Bahadur. So, we can also add General Bakt Khan. At Gwalior, though Gwalior was ruled by Scindia, but at Gwalior, the resistance was provided by Tantya Tope. Resistance was provided by Tantya Tope. So, we have discussed a comprehensive list of important places as well as personalities associated with the revolt of 1857. To give in quick succession, those are from Delhi, Bahadur Shah Zafar along with General Bhakt Khan and the advisor of Bahadur Shah Zafar, Ehsanullah. From Meerut, we all know that mutiny started. At Lucknow, Begum Hazrat Mahal, she was the wife of Wajid Ali Shah and her minor son or adopted son Birjis Qadir. From Faizabad, it was led by Maulvi Ahmadullah, who was also the advisor of last Nawab of Awadh. Next, from Banaras and Prayagraj, the revolt was led by Liaquat Ali. From Ara or Jagdishpur, the revolt was led by Kunwar Singh with the help of his brother Amar Singh. From Patna, it was led by the Wahhabis. At Kanpur, the revolt was led by Nana Sahib, assisted by Tatya Tope and his political advisor Azimullah Khan. From Jhansi, we all know Rani Lakshmi Bai led the revolt. From Bareilly, it was Khan Bahadur, assisted by General Bhakt Khan, his commander. From Gwalior, the resistance was provided by Tatya Tope. After raising the banner of revolt on 10th May 1857, the soldiers of 3rd Native Cavalry marched towards Delhi. In Delhi, the soldiers encountered many resistance from English officials as well as English soldiers. So, they killed Simon Fraser at Delhi. Who was he? He was the political agent of English, Simon Fraser. Later, they also neutralized Lieutenant Willoughby. After the British tried to recapture Delhi, John Nicholson was killed. John Nicholson died trying to recapture Delhi. After Delhi was recaptured, Colonel Hudson shot dead Bahadur Shah Zafar's sons and grandsons at a place today known as Khuni Darwaja. So another involved was Hudson. So these were the British officials involved in Delhi: Fraser, Willoughby, Nicholson and Hudson. Now at Lucknow, the soldiers surrounded the Commissioner of Awadh and other Europeans. The Commissioner of Awadh at that time was Henry Lawrence. Henry Lawrence and hundreds of Europeans were killed in a case known as Lucknow Residency case. Lucknow Residency case. Resistance at Lucknow was also offered by Havelock, English, Outram. They all were neutralized. Finally, Lucknow was captured by Colin Campbell. Lucknow was captured by Colin Campbell. Next comes at Kanpur. Kanpur, we know the banner of revolt was led by Nana Sahib. Nana Sahib defeated the forces of Hugh Wheeler. Later, Kanpur was freed by Colin Campbell. Now comes Prayagraj. Now here the Prayagraj and Banaras both were recaptured by Neel. In recapturing Banaras, it was assisted by Onsale. So, at Banaras and Prayagraj, the British officers involved were Neel and Onsale. At Ara, the resistance against Kunwar Singh was offered by William Taylor and Vincent Eyre. Now comes Jhansi. At Jhansi, the forces of Rani Lakshmi Bai was defeated by Hugh Rose. He recaptured Jhansi, Gwalior as well as other areas of Bundelkhand. Now remaining is Bareilly. Now Bareilly was again captured by Colin Campbell. So we discussed a comprehensive list of British officials or officers involved during the revolt of 1857. We have discussed list of important places as well as prominent personalities associated with the revolt of 1857. We have also discussed the list of British officers who were involved in the campaign. Now we will discuss the list of dates on which those Indian cities involved in the revolt were recaptured by the British. So, starting with Delhi. Delhi was recaptured on September 20, 1857. 1857. Bahadur Shah Zafar was exiled to Rangoon, where he died in the year 1862. Bahadur Shah Zafar exiled to Rangoon, where he died in 1862. Now, Lucknow was recaptured on 21st March 1858. 1858. Begum Hazrat Mahal, the leader of the revolt, she fled to Nepal. Next come Kanpur. Kanpur was recaptured on 6th December 1857 by Colin Campbell. Again, Nana Sahib also fled to Nepal after being defeated. Next comes Prayagraj and Banaras. Both these towns were recaptured by the British in around June 1857. Next comes Ara. Ara in Bihar came under British control, or the whole part of Bihar including Jagdishpur came under British control after the death of Kunwar Singh on April 26, 1858. Next comes Jhansi. Jhansi was recaptured by Hugh Rose on June 20, 1858. It is to be noted that Rani Lakshmi Bai died on June 17, 1858 at Kota di Sarai in Fulbagh in Gwalior. Next and the last comes Bareilly. Bareilly was recaptured by Colin Campbell on 5th May 1858. So we discussed a comprehensive list of dates on which the Indian towns or cities which was captured by the Indian forces was again recaptured by East India. By the end of 1859, most of the Indian leaders of the revolt like Maulvi Ahmedullah, Maulvi Liaquat Ali, General Bhakt Khan, Ross Sahib, the brother of Nana Sahib, Rani Lakshmi Bai, Kunwar Singh, they all were martyred. Nana Sahib as well as Begum Hazrat Mahal, they fled to Nepal. Tatya Tope was also killed by year end. So now what were the reasons for the failure of the revolt? We can say first reason, limited territorial reach. Now the revolt of 1857 had spread only to the certain part of the country, and this was confined to this region from Delhi till the parts of Bihar and parts of Bundelkhand. So Western India did not participate, Southern India did not participate, and Eastern India, most of the Eastern India did not participate. First reason for the failure of 1857. Secondly, lack of participation of princely state. Now we know India consisted of, or India was ruled by princely state. Most of the princely state did not participate in the revolt of 1857. Rather, some princely state helped the British in overcoming the sepoy. Such examples of princely states were Holkars of Indore, Sindhia of Gwalior. Sindhia actually fled to Agra when Rani Lakshmi Bai and Tatya Tope captured Gwalior. Others were ruler of Kashmir, rulers of Patiala, and other Sikh rulers. So we can say second reason for the failure of revolt was the lack of participation of princely state. Third factor can be considered as lack of effective leadership. Lack of effective leadership. Now, the English East India Company were led by or trained officers like Lawrence, Colin Campbell, John Nicholson, Neil Havelock, etc. They were better organized and had better organizational skill, which was lacking among the Indian leaders. So, third reason, lack of effective leadership among the Indian leadership. Next factor is lack of class participation. We have discussed that some of the princely state had not participated in the revolt of 1857. Similarly, many classes of Indians did not participate. Which class? Like zamindars. The rich zamindars did not participate in the revolt of 1857. Others, merchant class, they also did not participate in the revolt of 1857. Next comes the educated class. Educated class or intelligentsia. Now, educated class considered the revolt as a backward looking approach. Since one of the major reasons for the revolt of 1857 was against the socio-religious reforms, and educated class supported the socio-religious reforms in Indian society. Next factor comes lack of unified ideology. Now, what does this mean? This means the Indian leaders or sepoys lacked forward-looking program. Next factor is the lack of modern equipment. Now, what does this entail? We all know that British soldiers were using Pattern 53 Enfield rifle, which was considered the most sophisticated rifle of its time. Also, we have studied in the earlier video, Lord Dalhousie has introduced telegraph lines in India. He has also started the construction of railway line in India. So they also served in the faster movement of troops. Telegraph, railways. So these were the list of factors which led to the failure of revolt of 1857. Now next comes the positive factors of 1857. Does it have any positive factor? Now, according to Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, one positive factor of 1857 was there was complete Hindu-Muslim unity. There was cooperation among the Hindus and Muslims. How can we know that? For example, Nana Sahib political advisor was Azimullah Khan, a Muslim. Also, Rani Lakshmi Bai was assisted by Afghan soldiers. So these are examples which shows that there was complete Hindu-Muslim unity during the revolt of 1857. Another, we can say, rise or growth of consciousness. Which later led to the growth of nationalism in India. So we can say these were important positive factors which led to the revolt of 1857. After the revolt of 1857, the East India Company rule in India came to an end and it was substituted by British Crown. Thank you.